Okay, we have to talk about some of your posts.
Of course, the biggest news that came out of Mary's Instagram Live, Fridays with Friends, last Friday, February 23rd, was the fact that her and Amos broke up. Something else that Mary brought up that I have really been thinking about. Mary talked about her presence on social media and kind of how she uses social media, which was surprising to me.
Because every post you make um, becomes a source of an article because everyone thinks that you are giving
freaking speculation
insights into your life.
Now, what Mary and Jen are talking about is the fact that when Mary posts things on Instagram, people read into it. They look for patterns and then they write articles and they draw conclusions about Mary's status in life and how she feels about things. And clearly, you saw her reaction. Mary's like exasperated by that. She's not feeling. Mary decides to share with us her philosophy on social media and how she uses it to express herself.
I mean, sorry, I was trying to read some of the comments. Yeah, like sometimes, you guys, I make posts because I see, I just see some words. I see a little meme. I see a graphic. Then I'm like, oh, that's some good information, and I like to share it.
That's valuable.
It doesn't necessarily mean that I'm feeling it or that I'm going through it. It's just like, hey, somebody might see this as valuable. I like to share it.
So Mary says that she posts things on Instagram that are important to her, but not necessarily personally related to her. Maybe they're just words that she likes or images that are beautiful or whatever. And she just shares them. And for some reason, the public, the media are out here extrapolating ideas, pulling out ideas that are not necessarily true to Mary. And I've gone back and forth about how I feel about this. This is the part that I've been thinking about. Does that really make sense? I want to hear from you, but I'm going to share my opinion and then you tell me what you think, okay? So I just checked. Mary has about 962,000 subscribers on Instagram alone. That's a lot of people who have access to her content, right? Not even including the people who are not subscribed, but people who want to hear from her. And she says that of those 962,000 people, there's a majority perhaps, or a big chunk at least, who consistently get the wrong message from her platform, who read into her memes and into her words and think that they apply to Mary when in fact they don't. And I am surprised that Mary would suggest that that's her audience's fault, that that's her subscribers' fault for misunderstanding her, or the media's fault for misunderstanding her. This is what I think, okay? If you have a platform that has almost 1 million subscribers, has almost 1 million people or followers on Instagram, I think that's what they're called, almost 1 million followers, and they are consistently getting the wrong message from you, then your message is not clear. And that is your opportunity to say, maybe I'll revise that because I have almost 1 million people listening to what I want to say. I want to make sure that they really get what I'm saying. And so if the message continues to be unclear, if your audience is not sure, is this about you, Mary? Are you just posting this because you think it's a pretty picture? Then you have some responsibility as a public person with a huge platform. I think you have some responsibility. Maybe not to us, but definitely to your brand, right? Meri Brown has a brand. And if her brand is unclear, then that seems problematic. Now, the only way that any of this kind of makes sense, that, yeah, use your giant platform to post random ideas unrelated to your actual life, is that Mary is trying to create a brand that is about emotions and it is about mental health and feeling good about yourself. That would definitely tie into her worthy up, her hashtag worthy up thing. I think I referenced it in my last video perhaps, where she's really into worthying up. She has the hat on, she has notebooks and lots of things that say worthy up. And so maybe that's the brand. Maybe that's where she's trying to go, where she is just a women's empowerment space, where she's created a space where women can feel empowered and encouraged. And so she's trying to address all the different experiences. And that's cool. I love that. Yeah, Mary, come out and tell us, you don't have to tell us. We've seen a lot of your story and we love that you are feeling empowered now and you want to bring other women with you. I love that. So why not share a message in a way that is clear that this is not personally for you, or that it used to be personally for you, but now it's for somebody else? I just think if you have such a big platform, why not be clear? Why blame the audience for misunderstanding? Why not just take the time to revise, edit, and be clearer? If you don't follow Meri on social media and you're not sure what I'm talking about, let me just show you some of the things that she has posted and some of the articles that have come from her posts, and maybe we'll get a sense about why she's like a little frustrated by this. But first, one of the challenges before we look at this stuff is that a lot of these like emotional type of posts that Meri shares, she shares in her Instagram stories. And if you don't have Instagram, then just know that Instagram stories are only publicly available for 24 hours. And then after that, they disappear. So unfortunately, I can't show you any of the like past stories. I'll show you some stories that she has up there today, but not too bad because people have written articles about her stories. So we'll just look at the articles, and they have documented some of the stuff that she's shared in her stories. This is what Meri currently has posted on her Instagram story. Be the reason why people believe in beautiful souls, kind hearts, and good energy. Your energy has far more power than you can even imagine. And finally, it's important to find people who make you realize there's nothing wrong with being who you are. Now, you could read all that and say, oh, those are just some beautiful words. I really connect with that. That makes me feel great, or, whatever. But I think most of us are reading those messages and contextualizing that in the fact that we just learned that Meri broke up with her boyfriend and that she's been looking for love for a long time and she finally was happy, and now maybe she would doubt herself. Like, we would do that. I think that's human nature, right? We try to put the information we have in context of what we know. That's how we grow and understand things, right? But Meri's saying that we're wrong to do that. I might have said this before. I am Team Meri. I wasn't always, but I am becoming Team Meri now that I have a little better understanding of all that she had to go through in order to be in that marriage and be on that show. I feel for her and I want her to be happy, but I also am like, Meri, just be clear with us. So when we read that, should we think about you or not? And why do we have to ask ourselves that question? Why are you doing that to us?
Yeah, I'm like, you know what? I know friends who could use this, and
But
I'll post it.
it's really funny because everybody thinks that every emotion that I'm posting a meme about is mine.
Yeah.
Right now.
I'm reading an article now that was published in May of 2023. They talked about some of Meri's Instagram stories. She wrote, "Every one of us is worthy of what we want. It's not selfish to have a dream, desire, or goal." In another post, she said, "Once you give yourself permission to dream, start doing something every day that gets you a little closer to it." One more Instagram story. Never apologize for having high standards. People who really want to be in your life will rise up to meet them. Now, I don't think that would be good analysis if you can read those Instagram stories when they happened, May 2023, and not put them in the context of the fact that in January 2023, Meri and Cody shared that they were broken up. After a lifetime together, their marriage was over. How could Meri really expect us to read those Instagram stories? I'm pointing here because they're on my screen. How could she expect us to read those stories and not call to mind, oh, her marriage ended. This was the year that finally that marriage ended. I feel like I'm just repeating myself a little bit, and I don't like to do that, but I just wanted to be very clear that if you have a platform with almost 1 million followers on it, it would be almost irresponsible, maybe misleading, to give us information and think that we're not going to put it into the context of what we know about your life. And if it's not true, if it's not supposed to be placed in the context of what you've shared publicly about your life, then let us know. Meri, we want to root for you. I want to root for you, but in an effective way. If the information is really leading you towards starting this worthy up business and that's what we should be rooting for, let us know. If you want to be seen as a women's empowerment guru type of person, then let us know. I know you'll find your audience and they'll be here for you. Let us know. That's the end of it. Let us know. And also you let me know. What do you think about this? What responsibility does someone with a platform, with a big platform, have to be clear and focused about their message? Can they experiment and just share things? Is that difficult for the audience? Let me know. We'll talk about it in the comments, and I'll either see you down there or in my next video. Okay? You're the best. Thank you so much for being here. Take care. Bye.